What's up, everyone? Welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Video Game Fight School channel. Thank you very much for tuning in. So a conversation ensued from my last video, and I think the entire idea of the value proposition for Gotham Knights is somewhat misplaced. I did mention specifically what I thought that was when you compare the game from console to PC, and I did so in a video that I made early on when the game first came out. Now, I'm sure that was missing because I had someone ask me directly and say, you can't necessarily say that the console version of Gotham Knights is worth the full $70. I mean, are you saying this? And the answer to that is I already have my opinion to it. And I said, actually, the console version is not worth the full $70 price tag. I mentioned this in my video where I titled it Optimizing or Getting the Fully Optimized Experience. But I think I mentioned it towards the end. Not that I know specifically at the 9-minute mark of that video, I did mention this entire conversation. I thought I'd make a whole video about it so that, for those of you who may want to get the game on console, you might be clear as to what it is you're getting into, because at the end of the day, the value proposition will not matter to you if you want to spend the money. So let's look at a very small economics lesson here, because I think it's very pertinent about all of this stuff, because the conversation surrounding people getting upset as the $70 price tag comes into play. And the truth is, market forces don't care about you being upset or whatnot. Market forces are exactly what they are. They will be the driving force for the price of goods, services, or whatever it is. This is an economic fact, regardless of how things go. Now, surrounding the entire conversation for Gotham Knights, it's very simple. I don't think the console version of the game is worth the $70 price tag. Regardless of what it is that I think, those who want to pay for the price point at $70, they tell me, VG, shut up, we want to play the game. And I say, yes, boss. You got the money, so you do whatever the heck it is you want to do with the money. Look at the reviews over here so far. 4.4 reviews, 642 reviews total, and people are buying the game. These are the consumers, the people who purchased the version of the game, actually talking about the game. So they understand, and they say things like, I don't care if it's only 30 FPS. I'm having a blast playing this beautiful game, and I hope everybody's having fun playing the game as well. Hey, it is their money. They do what they want. Now, at the end of the day, for anybody who may be on the fence, I think you also have to say, well, I'll wait for the price to drop, and then I think the game will probably be valuable to me at that price point. It is specifically, and it is, in my opinion, what I think one of the most noble things about life is, because we as grown-ups, adults, we have the opportunity to make the choices ourselves. Also, regarding market forces, I've seen some people get upset with the fact that the PC version is much cheaper than the console version. I think the answer to that is quite simple. Most players on PC behave very differently than console players, and the PC ecosystem is also very different. The demand to play video games at launch on PC is very low, much lower than console. In fact, if you wanted to maybe take a quick glance, you'll notice that the Gotham Knights reviews right now that have come in are not necessarily that much. Not a lot of people have started to give the game reviews because not a lot of people have purchased the game firsthand. I can tell you that for sure. On my Steam's friend list, if I look, say, at Gotham Knights, at how many of my friends have the game, not a lot of my friends on Steam have actually bought Gotham Knights. It's just a fact. And I have some that still have the game on their wish list because they're automatically waiting for a sale. You can see these stats on your Steam page if you're actually paying attention. It is just one of those things where games launch and PC players just usually just say, we got a lot to do. We'll probably buy it in the Steam sale. Some console players do that as well. But that's also something that is a reality that you must actually face, and a reality that you must, grapple with. Because right now on console, there are about 3,000 reviews. As on console on the Steam page, there are about 3,000 reviews at the moment. And most of those people refunded theirs because they said, man, we're having performance issues by and large. Another aspect, too, is the entire conversation surrounding the economies of scale. That's what I want to call it. I was a very bad student in high school and middle school. I didn't really know anything, but there was one subject that I knew very well because the teacher was such a good teacher, and it was my econ class. I went to college in Africa, so we actually learned economics. I know I'm in the education system in the West here, and they hardly teach the kids economics. I wish they did, and I do anyways. I incorporated into whatever it is that I'm actually working with my students on. And so the economies of scale has really affected how I see things. So when I talk about my video game stuff, I usually talk about the financial aspect of things because it's very, very important. And many times people can blow it off and say things like, I don't really care. But obviously, I'm getting these questions all the time with people saying the console version doesn't seem like it's a $70 experience. And the reason is because truly humans, we do care about value proposition. And I'm not the kind of person that doesn't put my money where my mouth is. I mean, as much as I can, I try my best to do so. So let me give you guys one crazy scenario that really did happen in these past few years. I was looking for a very good GPU to buy at one point. I remembered I'd saved up a lot of money. I decided that I wanted to upgrade my, production set. And at that time, the 30 series of GPUs were coming out. By and large, I skipped the 20 series. So everything in the RTX 20 series, I skipped them. I think I got the laptop version of the 20 series, but that was for, work and being able to do other tasks. I needed something for my desktop so I could make my YouTube videos. And I looked at the 3090 at that time. The 3090, it came out and the MSRP was around $1,300. That's what the manufacturer suggested this graphics card was. Well, by and large, because of everything going on in the world, scalpers got their hands on these things and started to ask for $2,000, $2,500, $2,800 for 3090s at that time. Well, I was looking at all of this and economies of scale kicked in, and my teacher from high school, it's like his voice was telling me, you can't possibly pay for this because you know that demand is almost always going to come down depending on when it does. Behold, 2 years later, the 3090 is already way less, even 50% or less, than the price that was being asked. In fact, I saw one on B&H the other day. I just wasn't fast enough. I wanted to point it out to somebody else to maybe, go buy it. And it was about $800 and something used. And that's the way market forces work. So hold on. If you want to play the game and you feel it's not worth $70, no problem. Other games are going to come out. They're going to lay their market forces on Gotham Knights, and Gotham Knights is going to basically reduce in price. This is just the way things are. There are few games that can hold their price values, and there are even publishers and developers who purposefully don't necessarily push their prices down for their games. One of them is From Software. From Software is just stubborn. You can see a From Software game 3 years later, and the price will hardly go down. The one that really baffled me was Sekiro. The price for Sekiro did not come down for the longest time, and when it finally did, the game has never ever, in my opinion, since I've been watching, gone down past $29. That's the lowest you'll see it on every single platform: Steam, PlayStation, and Xbox. I finally got the Xbox version after me, Mr. Economies of Scale Cheapo, finally got ashamed and said, yo, how can you want to play a game for this many years and you don't want to spend $30 on such a good game, a game that won Game of the Year anyways? But that's how life is. So for me as a YouTuber, I already told my audience members and my community members that the reason I was going to buy the console version was because I wanted to make sure that I understood the experience and told them exactly how the console, version was playing. And at the end of the day, it was their own prerogative, whatever it is they wanted to do. In fact, I even made a video titled "Do Not Buy This Game Yet If You're on Console," because there were many, I would say stopgaps to me that I thought were probably not necessarily going to help people to be able to make a very solid decision overall. So at the end of the day, you still choose to do what you want. You still choose to engage the market however you feel. But again, I want to go ahead and address this sentiment of people bashing on the developer, saying, oh, they can't be charging this amount of money. Folks, they can charge $200 if they want. You, as the consumer, you can pay $0 if you want. The power is in your hand anyways, so you don't need to be worried about it. You're the one that has the resources that they're asking for. So you are sitting in the power position. You, as the consumer, are the one that's sitting in that power position. So leverage it, play your cards, and show that you actually have the power and not pay for the product if you don't feel like the product is actually worth it to you. And if you feel like the product is worth it to you and you have the, expenditure for it, then do so as well. You still have the power play at hand. It's not going to affect you for paying the amount if you want to pay it. So that's how economics works. Thank you for watching the video. I appreciate you guys' time and audience, and hopefully we'll talk pretty soon in another one. Peace out.